Hey everyone, it is Caslo and welcome back to my channel. It's time for the first segment of my RPG Club playthrough of the Sega Genesis JRPG, Phantasy Star 4. But first, what is the RPG Club? I've been an avid listener of the podcast RPG The After Years and its predecessor, RPG The Golden Years. The podcast focuses on RPG reviews and news. They regularly do a community event known as the RPG Club. Imagine a book club, but for RPGs. They break up a community-chosen RPG into digestible chunks, usually about 5 hours, and discuss those segments every 2 weeks like a book club. If you want to check out RPG The After Years, you can find a link in the description below. So we ended the last section with 3 witches stealing the Eclipse Torch and telling the team to come find them in Air Castle. So that's how we start off, exploring the remnants of Air Castle in the rubble of Planet Parma. Air Castle is the longest dungeon of the game so far, and after climbing to the top, we encounter the 3 witches. After dispatching them, we gain access to the basement of Air Castle, where we find a reborn Lashik, who wants revenge on Lutz, and guards the Eclipse Torch. After defeating him, Lashik holds the torch above his head, claiming he will never let Lutz get it back. But Rika quickly snatches it from his hand before he starts to dissolve, and the castle begins to crumble. Luckily, the team makes it out before it explodes. With the torch in hand, the team heads for Garabuk Tower, and as they raise the torch, the roots protecting the tower are burned to the ground. The team enters the tower to find a strangely organic dungeon. Despite the grossness of the tower, it's largely a simple and easy dungeon. At the top, however, we discover another incarnation of Dark Force. After defeating this new Dark Force, the tower shatters, and the blizzards stop. Kyra thanks Rune for his help, lamenting he wasn't the Lutz she expected, but he lived up to his name, and she departs. As the team mulls what to do next, a giant explosion occurs on the horizon, apparently at Gumbia's temple. The team rushes there to find a crater where the temple used to be. Approaching it, the team finds an underground temple. The bishop inside informs the party that Dark Force will continue to appear until they defeat the real root of evil, the profound darkness. Apparently the darkness had sent Dark Force, the Desolus, to find a place called Rykeros. To get to Rykeros, the bishop explains that the team will need an artifact known as the Arrow Prism to guide their way. Rune recognizes this artifact as something Lutz had hidden on Motavia, in the Soldier's Temple. With this info in hand, the team decides to return to Motavia. On return, Ren contacts Demi, seeking use of the Hydrofoil, a new vehicle capable of traversing water, which we will need to reach the Soldier's Temple. With the Hydrofoil in hand, the team crosses the lake near Krupp and starts to climb to the temple. Entering a cave, the team encounters an archaeologist named Seth, who is seeking to reach the temple as well, and joins the team. As the team climbs, Seth comments on how strong everyone is. Eventually, the team reaches the apex and enters the temple, where they quickly retrieve the prism. As the team exits the temple, the prism lights up and shoots a beam of light into the sky. Rune surmises that Rykeros is at the end of that light, in space, and Ren begins to calculate the coordinates. Just then, Seth screams out in pain and rips apart, revealing yet another form of Dark Force. After defeating Dark Force once again, Rune feels we need to get to Rykeros immediately. Following the coordinates from Arrow Prism, the team leaves the Algo system. Eventually, the prism flashes again, and a new planet appears before the Landale. Landing, the team encounters some sort of AI, calls itself LaRouf. LaRouf explains that he will tell them everything they need to know, but first they must meet with the Guardians of Strength Tower and Courage Tower to test the team. The team agrees and climbs the 2 towers, and defeats the respective Guardians. The team is also rewarded with 5 rings that will protect them from the profound darkness. With the test complete, the team returns to LaRouf, who explains the origin of the Algo system. Apparently billions of years ago, a spiritual being split into 2 lesser beings who began to fight, the Great Light and the Profound Darkness. The Great Light ultimately prevailed, banishing the darkness to another dimension, and sealed it through 3 planets orbiting a fixed star, the Algo system. The light then distributed protectors amongst the 3 planets before leaving forever. Every 1,000 years, the seal weakens, and that is when Dark Force is created and subsequently destroyed. This cycle has continued until the destruction of Parma, which has weakened the seal considerably. Now, it is just a matter of time before the darkness escapes the seal, unless it is defeated forever by the team. Chaz bursts out in anger, cursing the situation and questioning why the Great Light won't help. Rune understands his anger and asks Chaz to return with him to Esper Mansion. Upon arriving, Rune opens a secret door and asks Chaz to enter and meet with the sacred sword, Ilsadion. Inside, Chaz finds a statue holding a sword and receives flashes of scenes from the first 2 Phantasy Star games. And then an apparition of Alice from the original Phantasy Star appears and tells Chaz that they will always be with him. This gives Chaz the inspiration he needs to take on the profound darkness. As Chaz re-emerges from the chamber, Rin appears with a message from Demi. Apparently there has been an emergency on Motavia, and they must return immediately. As the team returns to the spaceport, they are joined by Raja and Kyra, who wish to return with them to help fight the profane darkness. Upon returning to Motavia, they are greeted by Hans, Grizz, and Demi. Demi informs everyone that a hole has appeared north of Piata and is draining all life from the area. Rune surmises this is an entrance to another dimension, and the party can enter to take on the profound darkness. After choosing our final party, in my case Kyra, the team enters the hole and into a trippy final dungeon. The dungeon's rather short, but eventually the party finds the profound darkness. After defeating it, the dimension begins to close in on itself, and the party seems stuck, when Elcion begins to shine and then shatters, protecting the team. The team reappears back on Motavia with everyone going their own way. Ren, Rika, and Demi agree to take Raja and Kyra back to Desolus and take off in the landing, despite Rika's hesitation. Chaz then says his goodbyes to Han, Grizz, and Rune. Suddenly, the Landale appears back above Chaz, and Rika jumps out into Chaz's arms. We then get scenes of each character's happy ending, and that's it for Phantasy Star 4. I'm not sure what to say that I haven't said in the previous segments. This section is a lot more the same, except that we get some visually crazy dungeons in the Garabak Tower and the final dungeon. We also get a lot of interesting side quests involving more of the AI in the Algo system, and for Chaz to get some resolution with Alice and receive his ultimate skill. Also, it was interesting to discover an entirely new system during the final boss. Apparently, if you perform the right combination of skills or spells between characters, they will do combo attacks. I guess you missed this when you just melee attack most non-boss encounters. Ultimately, I thought this was an average RPG for its era. It's clearly outshined by games like Dragon Quest V and Lunar, but it did serve as a nice wrap-up of the OG Phantasy Star series. I will say, I love the comic book style of the cutscenes, and I wish an indie would take that style and run with it. I know games like Cosmic Star Heroine has sprite art cutscenes, but they're full-on animated scenes, and not the comic panel that Phantasy Star uses. It really needs to make a comeback. But that's it for Phantasy Star 4's RPG Club. If you want to follow along with whatever game might be next, be sure to click that subscribe button to see new videos when they are posted. Additionally, if you want to check me out elsewhere, I have links to my Twitch, Twitter, and Discord in the description below. See you all next time!